Welcome, Spartans, to Podcast Evolve, part of Evolved, your home for Halo. Podcast Evolve hosts original lore series and recaps the monthly news. Our current lore series is Infinite Impressions. I am your host, Aaron, and with me today we've got Oran.
Hey, everybody.
And we've got Krysta.
Hello.
Yay! On this episode of Infinite Impressions, we are going to discuss the Season 1 mid-season review.
Ooh.
It's been like 3 months. What the hell?
It's a really long season, Krysta.
It's a long season.
It's like half a year. It's like 6-month seasons.
There are only 2 seasons in the 343 year. There is Season 1 and then Season 2.
My god.
Right, before we get too distracted, I will take us through the socials. So, if you're new to the show, welcome to Evolved. We host a variety of shows. This is Podcast Evolved. You can check out all of our previous lore series, including the Road to Infinite and our character dossiers for Halo Infinite. When we get some more lore, we may have to do a little more.
I think so.
We have a few characters now that we can do a bit more stuff with. We may have to briefly bring back the character dossiers. Evolved also hosts a number of other shows. We've got Mission Debrief, Builds with Blocks, Redacted, Halo Book Club, and Halo Headlines.
Wait, what's Redacted?
I like Redacted. I think it's a good show name.
I actually don't like recording Redacted. I really... It's always really inconvenient, guys.
I always end up on the other Redacted. Deciding between the two Redacted, I just get lost and go into the wrong recording booth.
But I like recording Redacted because it's really handy in the edit. I just bleep the entire recording out and then it's fine.
It's just an empty file that you upload.
Yeah, it makes life a lot easier.
That is good.
You can learn more about all of our shows if you go over to the website, halopodcast.com. If you're already a fan of the show, we would ask you to leave us a rating and a review on your podcast service of choice. We appreciate all your feedback. And we would also like to take a minute to thank all of our patrons for their continued support. Thank you very much, patrons.
Thank you so much.
Woo!
Yeah, patrons receive a variety of rewards, including exclusive merch, swag, access to our soundtrack. There were also postcards, which I got in the post there the other day, because I got some.
Yay.
Yep, was very happy about that. Just take a moment to thank DeSudo for the nice little words he wrote.
Yes, thank you to Pseudo for helping me out with those.
It's alright, I won't tell David what you said about him.
Shout out to, I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to give away where they live, but we have an Australian listener who received a postcard, and silly me mailed it to DeSudo in the UK for him to then just mail it to Australia. So
That sounds very complicated.
hopefully you have your postcard by now, and I apologize for the delay. International mailing is not my forte.
My postcard came damaged, and I'm very upset.
Oh, well, you're going to have to take that up with Vistaprint.
Okay, I will.
I found it very funny when I was sitting in the house and I saw the Discord flash up and I was going like, what's wrong with DeSudo? And I was reading through it and I was going like, oh, this is brilliant. Living up to all the stereotypes about Americans not knowing anything else about the world outside America, guys. Just putting it out there.
There isn't anything outside of America. America is the world.
I thought DeSudo made, the way he posted that, it made it sound like that I actually shipped them all to Australia. And I was like, no, that's definitely not what happened. And then I completely spaced that one of the cards needed to go to Australia. I don't know what I was thinking. I hope they got their postcard. Sounds like all the hosts got their postcard. DeSudo got his. I already have ideas for the 8th anniversary Evolve postcard. I'm excited.
Cortana feet.
It's going to be a big map that points to where Australia is.
What?
And that's going to really help us this time round.
Also, you actually know it would be really cool if we actually just had a map of the Earth and we just had pins of where all of our listeners are from. Because we've gotten comments of people like, hey, I'm a listener from Germany and love the show, and patrons from all over the world. Maybe that's what we should do.
That sounds like a lot of work.
And then we can include a geography fun fact.
Let's also include their names, addresses, and bank account numbers.
How about we do it in the style of the Halo 3 map? There's the answer. The multiplayer
Yeah, there it is.
globe. If you would like to get in on this sweet Patreon action, you can head over to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolved to learn more about signing up today.
I do want to chime in. About the Patreon as well. We do have a Patreon exclusive episode coming up in the very, very near future. So if you want to know what that episode's all about, you got to be a patron to learn what it is.
Yes, because the host that's been handed that is definitely prepared. Totally, absolutely prepared.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. And finally, we encourage all of our listeners to support us through Audible, where you can enjoy the growing collection of Halo novels all in one place, along with thousands of other novels, guided wellness programs, and more. Use the URL audibletrial.com/podcast evolved to learn more and start your free trial today. Special mention to my current Audible book, which is, I just finished Sword of Destiny. I believe that's the first Witcher book, but I listened to it second. And I have just started Red Rising, which is a thrilling futuristic sci-fi novel about Elon Musk's empire on Mars.
What? Wow. I've heard a lot about Red Rising, actually.
It's pretty good. Yeah, no, it's about like what would eventually happen with the colonists and the people sent to Mars to like work as indentured servants, which definitely is not even remotely like what Elon Musk was suggesting.
He sounds like a guy who would hire indentured servants.
I kind of get that impression, yeah. It's like, yeah, no, in space there's no such thing as slavery, so it's fine. But it's a good book so far. I'm about halfway through it. Enjoyed the 2 Witcher novels. I'll have to get some more of those. I think it's credit day coming up soon, so look forward to next month when I can recommend a new random novel. We're going to go to last week on Zeta Halo. And because Oran has written something down, we're going to go to Oran first. Oran, what did you do?
So I have completed all of the fobs and all of the banished keeps in my Halo Infinite Legendary playthrough. I've been playing pretty consistently, and my very first playthrough on Heroic, I just kind of did the main story. Didn't really do any of the side stuff, so I did a lot of those side missions as I progressed through the story. But then when I started to level the sequence, that's when the entire map opens up to you. And so I just went ham and just started doing everything. And so I've spent 5 hours over the last couple of play sessions doing all the different side missions and things. And so I logged on the other day and was like, oh, I have 1 fob and 1 keep to finish. I'll just do these real quickly in this, short little playtime I have, and now I get to finally continue the second half of the campaign on my legendary playthrough. So super thrilled, excited about that. I'm really trying to finish soon because I still don't know the legendary ending because I'm hellbent on watching it myself instead of on YouTube. So I need to do that before it gets spoiled. But that's me. It's still fun, guys. A month and a half after release, 2 months now after release, game's still fun.
Is it?
It is, Krysta. Honestly, it is. I still find myself enjoying it. I haven't gone back to my complete all the side quests run that I was doing because I sort of haven't played too much of anything for a while, but this week I got back into the Xbox. I suppose I will mention mine for a brief minute and then we go to Krysta's. I played some multiplayer with my niece this week because she's gotten into the Infinite multiplayer, so...
Oh.
Ooh, topical.
Yeah, she's about level 22 in the battle pass, so I bought the premium pass for her because she only had the free armor and stuff.
Yeah, we got to get that number up there,
Yeah, she no longer has to use she doesn't have to use the samurai armor because that's basically all she had that was any different. She was like, why is everyone a grey Spartan? I'm like, because those are called freebies. They've all got the basic armor. You have had money spent. That's why you have nicer stuff. We were doing some of that. There was a lot of swearing. I got in some very bad matches. Awful, awful, awful team members. And then it always seems like when you're in the match where you get stuck with other bad team members, the other team are super sweaty and super ruthless the entire time. And it just becomes a slaughter. I had one of those matches on the streets map where it was us, and it would be me and my niece sort of running around. The other two players were all over the show, and then the other team were just moving in a pack of 4 anti-clockwise around the map all the time. It's just like, what is the point? I'm just spawning and dying and then spawning again and then dying. It wasn't great.
Yeah, Halo Infinite's a sweaty place.
They need a shower.
I need Firefight or Warzone or something. I need something.
Season 6, man.
6? That's like gonna be 5 years from now.
Oh yeah, if we keep doing 6-month seasons. Let me do it this way. I think we'll get a Firefight PvE mode fall 2023.
All right, if that doesn't come to fruition, I'm gonna be collecting.
Right, well, I think that was all of mine. Krysta, do you do any Halo-related stuff or non-Halo stuff?
Oh, so much non-Halo stuff, but I'm not sure you guys actually want to hear about that. But I've just been playing Halo for pretty much just for mission debrief right now. So going in, completing whatever task Colin makes us do every week, and talking about it for about an hour. It's been good. It's been interesting going back through the campaign. It's been a while since I actually got up multiplayer. I just haven't really been in a mood for multiplayer lately. I don't know why. I need to get back on it. I was like halfway through the battle pass, so I'm going to have to get back on and grind it out. I got like 4 months.
Save your boosts. You don't need them.
Yeah, the boosts are super handy.
Do you find yourself replaying the missions any differently now that you're doing it for mission debrief? Or not so much?
Not so much right now, because originally played the campaign on normal. Right now I'm playing it through on heroic, which isn't that much of a difference. Especially now that, I kind of know the lay of the land when it comes to encounters and stuff like that during the campaign. So eventually I'm going to go do a legendary solo playthrough. So I'm sure that's going to really change up the way I approach situations and stuff like that. But for now, no, not really. I mean, normal to heroic, I still can kind of use my normal tactics.
Very nice, very nice.
I thought about Halo a couple times too, so I hope that counts.
That does count. All thoughts of Halo count.
Oh, actually, so for Christmas, I got some Philips Hue lights, which are these like fancy light things. I got the ones that can hook up to your PC and display the lights as they appear on the screen.
Oh no, Krysta.
I was playing Halo Infinite. It's so cool. Like, you go through the banished compounds and stuff, and like my whole room is glowing red and stuff like that. It's very cool. So I guess that's Halo related, because I was playing Halo Infinite with those on. It was cool. It's very cool.
You'll have to show your setup in like a video or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of cords and stuff, but
I don't want to embarrass you, but I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
They sit behind my monitor. They're cool.
There's a couple of solutions for that. I'm currently plotting out the redecorating of my house, and when I do that, I'm going to change my TV out for something a little bit newer than my rather decrepit plasma screen at this stage. And I was like, I could put those light things on the back of the TV and have all that light up.
The only problem is the Philips Hue. So for computer, it's really easy. Like, you just have to buy the lights and then the box that hooks up to your Wi-Fi and your solid. To hook the box up to your TV, you need to buy this HDMI adapter, and they charge $200 for it. It's ridiculous. That does not come with any lights either. So you have to buy the lights, and then you have to buy the hub for your Wi-Fi system as well. It's expensive. It's really cool though. I would recommend the strip lights if you're going to put it behind your TV.
I'll have to have a look. And all smart home stuff is expensive, unfortunately.
It is. The cool thing about the Philips stuff is that it will literally connect to everything in all the different lights and stuff in your house. Still, to get set up.
Do you have many other smart things in your house?
No, this is the first one, but now that I have the hub that hooks up to the Wi-Fi, I'm probably going to put at least a couple. I'm probably not going to do every single light.
You got to get that smart fridge.
Yeah, I have fans in every single one of my rooms that have the 3 bulbs, and it would be super costly for me to switch them all out.
I need to warn you that this is how the sickness starts.
I know.
All I wanted to change, because my kitchen and living room is open plan, lights under my kitchen units would reflect in the TV screen, so I changed those out to Wi-Fi because I didn't want to have to get up to turn them off when I sat down. That's how it started, and now there's only 2 lights in my house left that aren't controlled on the Wi-Fi. That's it. Everything else is on it.
I want to put some in my front room that faces the street and then have it on a timer so it always looks like I'm home because they turn on at night and then turn off in the morning.
Yeah, I even went as far as to put motion sensors in certain rooms now, so at night, if I'm watching TV and I get up to like get a snack, it turns the lights on down low and everything, so I can go get my snack and then go sit back down and the lights turn off.
How long has it been since you touched a light switch?
Months. And the only reason I turned on the light switch was because I had to reset the bulb because it had like a bit of a hissy fit.
That's the only reason. It was just technical difficulties.
I touch very little in this house now in terms of switches. If it can be automated, it's been done, and every time I add on to it, I hate myself.
You're all set up, though. You don't have to do anything. The house knows what you want.
And I've corrupted others to it as well, because they'll come and see my house and be like, oh no, this stuff has to be all crazy. And then they leave going like, this could be kind of useful. And you're like, yes, another one.
You were doing the same thing with your squatty potty, too.
Also an amazing purchase, Krysta. It's worth every penny.
I know.
Listeners, if you would like the chance, go and visit Squatty Potty. It's really good for you. And if you get a chance, go and watch the advert for it on YouTube. The one with the unicorn.
It has to be the unicorn.
Yeah. We've derailed so much, so we should really bring it all back in.
Yes, we're going to move on. We have infinite impressions to cover. Before we tackle this week's infinite impressions, the last thing we discussed was the Halo Infinite Spoiler Cast Part 2. To recap that, there were much spoilers, including the legendary ending, so we won't mention that because Oran hasn't got that far yet.
Yes.
He's saving himself. But we did go through all of those missions, we chatted about them, the enemies, the fights, that sort of thing, what we enjoyed, what we didn't. Well worth a listen. And then we talked about the end. I think that was me and Colin stayed behind to talk about the legendary ending, because at that time David also hadn't finished the legendary run through, so you can go and have a listen to that. And then for this week we are reviewing Season 1 of the multiplayer so far. Who's going to take us through that?
I will take us through our infinite impressions for this week. Right, so Season 1, like we said, it's a lot longer than the other seasons, so we decided to do a mid-review. I think, Infinite Impressions, the series that we're kind of now rolling into, we've had a pretty good establishment last month with the overall hype of the release, our first thoughts, our spoiler campaign reactions and things like that. Now we're going to dive into all the different aspects of this game, with seasons and multiplayer being a slice of that. So expect a season preview episode for each new season, and then like a season review episode to kind of recap what did 343 change, what did they put out, what we liked, what we didn't like, things like that. But since we never really did a season preview, since it got stealth dropped back in November, and because this season is so long, we're doing a mid-review, which who knows if we'll really do that for future seasons. So that'll kind of be a case-by-case, but that's where we are now. So Season 1 is titled Heroes of Reach, and it's aptly named because during the reward track, you can earn armor kits for Nobles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's actually pretty cool just to get like their exact armor and the high 4K fidelity. If you're playing in matchmaking, it's kind of nice when like you see the cool lineup and you get like Spartan 7, Yori armor, Spartan 5, and then Emil is on our team. So that's always pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Carter myself, so I played a few matches with his armor kit. The battle pass is 100 tiers, so in addition to those armor kits for Noble Team, you also get various pieces for your Mark 5 and Mark 7 armor cores, and then nameplates, emblems, weapon coatings, and challenge swaps and XP grants, all those sort of types of rewards in there. I think I'm level like 90. I think I'm almost there at the end. I get it that it's the first battle pass, but it's kind of lackluster in my opinion. It really takes a long time to kind of get enough armor pieces to really make your own armor or your own Spartan that's kind of different. But at the same time, by the time you reach the end, everyone's kind of wearing the same legendary, super rare type of armor pieces. So then everyone ends up kind of looking the same, like the flames and all that stuff. Like almost half the players I play against have the flame armor stuff, which I personally don't like. It's just like, I wish there was, maybe not more variety, but at least, or not more variety in the pass for sure, but definitely more variety just to get armor and stuff. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the overall rewards that we get for the Season 1 pass, like the 100 tiers?
There's definitely some gems in there, like Virgil is definitely a standout to me. I mean, it's cool to see those classic Reach armors here, like the ones that go on your hip and your arm and stuff like that. Just those really iconic armor kits that came all the way back from Reach. It's very nice. Some of the effects, like special effects stuff, is really cool. Like the when you kill someone, they burst into flames, or you get a flaming helmet, which is a classic. It's interesting. I like it a lot. They also seem to give away a good amount of XP upgrades and challenge swaps and stuff like that as you go through the battle pass. I find that it's not too difficult to level up with all those challenges and stuff, but I do like challenges when it comes to multiplayer because I feel a little more inclined to sit around and play multiplayer when I have an actual task to do. So I do like how they implemented that.
The only other 2 real season passes I've had any experience with is Division 2 and Destiny 2. I feel like this is on a par mostly with them. Like you said, I think it needs a little more variety of stuff. I don't know whether or not it needs more free stuff as well, because like you said, it's a lot of the same Spartan or a lot of minor variations, and then an awful lot of grey default Spartans running around all the time. Most of the stuff's pretty good. I like the Reach stuff. I am a little disappointed that you can't mix and match sometimes the Mark 5 stuff with the other armor. It would be nice to mix up a little bit of Carter's armor with some of the Uri armor and stuff like that and go crazy with it. That's probably my biggest disappointment with that sort of thing, but it's mostly alright. I'm just looking here, I'm level 90 at the minute. I feel like nothing else really stands out to me. I can get a flaming head, but I already have flaming shoulder pads. The fact that the level 100 seems to be the grapple shot and then the flamey explosion, they do not seem like level 100 cool items, so I think it just needs a little more, a little more spice in its layout.
I just think it just needs more content, at least in the beginning, because like, if you're playing for like 6, 7, 8 seasons, like, yeah, by that time there's going to be a shit ton of like cosmetics and things that you have to like sort through and figure out. If you like something from season 1, you got to find it. That might be a problem, but initially it just seems that it's just kind of bare boned, and you get a lot of people just kind of looking the same. And so I feel like there's definitely room for improvement there compared to some of the other battle passes that at least I've experienced out there.
I'd like to also not see banners feature anymore in the gamer tag or in the battle pass in future. The same way that they took emblems and stuff out of the permanent unlocks in Halo 5. I don't want to see emblems in the battle pass anymore, or to be the only thing in a level. Like, there's certain levels where you go, oh yeah, I'm at, which one is it here? Level 22, I get the Reach emblem. You're like, that should be something else there.
every level, whether it's free or premium, should give you an armor cosmetic at minimum. Like whether it's a shoulder thing or a pouch on your hip or a visor color. Like I feel like if you have 100 of those, it gives across 2 different armor cores, because everything's separate right now, that gives a lot of variety for the players to customize and change their look and stuff. And then you can throw in some of the extra stuff like your challenge swaps and your emblems and your AI avatars and stuff that kind of spice it up a little bit here and there. And then you have, maybe your pinnacle rewards every 20 levels, which is like your armor kits for Noble Team and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I agree. Just like to get a level and it's like, okay, cool, I got just the nameplate or a little icon. All right, I guess I gotta wait for 2 more levels, but I think it's just going to be a slow start, and we'll kind of see how Season 2 rolls around. But it's also going to be interesting with the shorter season. Because it's the first season, we're playing like a whole bunch of it. So yeah, I'm like around 90 as well. But I'm probably going to be playing less Halo as the months go on, just because Halo's the hot new thing right now, and I've been looking forward to it for 6 or 7 years. So I am playing a lot of it now. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, how the rewards side of kind of increase to keep you coming back, and if the time still allows you to keep up with your passes. Because even though the passes never expire, if you have like 5 passes that you'd never completed, then you're still like playing catch up the whole time to get whatever rewards you want. All right, well, to kind of move on, we have some launch features and then some update features that we want to dive into. And Krysta kind of talked about one of them already, being the challenges. When we launched, when they were then 343 launched the game, and it's still the case now, challenges are the only way to progress through the Battle Pass. And the challenge swap system was implemented, so then if there's a challenge you didn't particularly like or you're having trouble completing, you can swap it out with a new random challenge, and completing these challenges each week give you X amount of experience, and after 1,000 experience you level up your pass. And the Battle Passes never expire, which is a pretty cool thing to note that I don't think really any other modern Battle Pass video game does, but I don't know, maybe there is. But since then, they've changed it to where now there's a daily playlist, or like a daily reward for every match you complete that kind of resets, and like the first 7 matches are worth more than the remaining matches in that particular day, and that's kind of helped get people to level up, because day 1 sort of like leveling with the challenges were not very rewarding, and it was very slow. Whereas now, like if I log in on a new day, I'm pretty much always getting 1 or 2 levels within the first, 30 to 40 minutes that I'm playing, because you got the challenges, you got the daily resets, and then as you play later in the week, then you complete all your challenges. So then it's just the kind of daily play a match challenge that's resetting, but you still get a decent amount of XP in there. So I think they've definitely kind of fixed, or at least a temporary fix if they still keep the system, because I think some people online are pushing for a different level up system as opposed to solely challenges. That's another conversation. So yeah, I agree with Krysta. I think challenges are in a good place right now. It feels fine. Could it be better? Maybe. Interested to see what they do. You want to add anything, Krysta, to that?
Some of the challenges are poo-poo garbage. I also think the weekly is not very, it doesn't give you a incentive to do all the challenges, because the weekly can kind of be pretty lame, because I'm pretty sure they've done the exact same emblem like 3 or 4 times, but one is for your car and one is for your weapon.
Oh, so you're talking about the ultimate reward.
Yeah, the ultimate reward. I wish those were a little more shiny, because like one was like a scoreboard. I'm like, I'm not putting the time and effort in to get that. I don't give a shit.
Yes, and then they did this. There was that sniper thing that again was like, it was cool, but like, yeah, for 3 weeks almost in a row, you would get the same plate, but then now it's, this one's for your car, this one's for your Spartan, and this one's for your gun. It's like, well, why not just unlock that for all of those different, and then that way that would be much more rewarding than it's like, hey, I did this ultimate reward, I'll slap it on my gun, on my car, on my Spartan, so everyone knows how awesome of a player I am. But yes, sometimes I think those need to be a little bit more rewarding as well. I like the weapon ones, like the sniper one, and there was like a shotgun one. And I think those are cool because if you like kill someone or you are running around with that weapon skin that, I don't know, you earned all those challenges for that week to earn that thing. And there was some commitment put in there. It's like, I think that's a good reward badge of honor type of a thing. But yeah, I think they need to be a little bit more of that flair and not repetitious, because then I think it like loses its value. I definitely don't have the time to do it every single week, so when I choose to do it for whatever week that is,
it's something cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, and yeah, also with the challenges, they did tweak some of them to be like playlist specific as opposed to mode specific. They still kind of have trouble with that a little bit. My least favorite challenge is like getting killjoys, because like it's like I'm perfectly fine getting a killjoy while playing the game, but to actively pursue a killjoy is the worst gaming experience in Halo I've like ever had, because it's like I have to watch the score or the kill feed to see who's getting kills, and then throw myself so they get their killing spree, and then headhunt that one player to then end their spree. And it's just like, no, I don't like that.
I saw one person post a screenshot. Their like final challenge of the week to complete everything. That capstone challenge was to get 3 killjoys in Fiesta, and they were furious. Because not only were you trying to deal with that, but then you were also dealing with the repetitive waves of here's a disruptor and a pistol, and you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do in Fiesta with the disruptor?
I enjoy Fiesta from one match to the next, but like I can't play it for like hours, because it eventually just devolves into people running around with the rockets, the sword, and the gravity hammer. And like I was even playing with some friends, and it was like we just kept getting annihilated by these sword guys. And I was like, fine, I will pick up the damn sword and use it. And I went on an 8-kill killing spree. And I'm like, this isn't fun.
It's so
like,
cheap, yeah.
I like Halo 5 where you have this awesome sandbox, and like, okay, I get spawned with these 2 weapons. I'm going to try to get kills with these 2 weapons and challenge myself of my ability to use these guns to get these kills. But like, if I can't even do that, and it's just like, oh, I don't have one of the 3 power weapons, then what am I doing with my life? Moving on. So also that launched. So we had bare bones playlists. We had Bot Slayer, Quick Play, Big Team Battle, and Team Arena. And then later on, they added Team Slayer, Tactical Slayer, which is SWAT essentially, Fiesta, and a proper free for all. And I actually really like Free For All. I don't know if you guys have played Free For All, but I think Free For All and Infinite is in a really good spot. I think the maps are great, kind of fighting for different weapon controls and picking off people and stealing kills and stuff like that. I have a good time in Free For All. And then we have the shop, which is new. We talked about this a little bit in our pre-show about some items that we've purchased. A little polarizing, because this, Halo is a free to play game now. They've implemented the shop mechanic that other games have, and I feel like every single game who's ever had a shop, there's always debate over money versus value of what is being offered for what price, and do gamers feel that price is warranted for whatever it is. Like, to use Apex as an example, there's always an event that comes out, and there's always a reward where you have to get like 24 other rewards in order to get that, but the only way to get those other rewards is to buy them all, so it ends up being like a $250 reward, because you have to buy all the other stuff to get this other thing. And there's always people saying that is very grimy and all this kind of stuff. For Halo, they basically, when they launch the game, they have like a pool of things. They're like bundles. You have like a $20 item, a $15 item, $10, $5, and then you have like your weapon swaps and stuff for like $2. And a lot of conversations about, well, I don't want the bundle, I just want the one little piece. I don't want to spend $20 on this one thing. Like, why are all the cool armors in the shop and the battle pass armors lame? And a lot of those kind of conversations going on. I personally haven't purchased anything from the shop, and I kind of don't really want to right now. I may be more inclined later if they offer other things, but I've never really been a player to kind of buy those vanity items because for any type of these games, you're constantly earning more and more like cosmetics and things like that. And I feel like if I purchase something, then I kind of have to use that more often. Like same thing with like pre-order bonuses from like Halo 4. I would hold on to some of the pre-order bonus skins because it was like, oh, well, I like paid and like did this other thing for this. Like I have like that attachment to it, but it kind of excludes me from using any of these other armors and stuff. So Krista, Aaron, have you guys purchased anything from the store? Do you guys feel attached to those items more so than the other items?
I have purchased one thing, and it will probably be the only thing I purchase in the store.
And what is that?
The cat ears. That's it. It was $8.99.
And that was $8.99 well spent.
Ah, yes.
And so do you see yourself pretty much wearing the cat ears for the lifetime of this game?
Yes.
And I feel like that's perfectly fine.
It goes on pretty much, I think it's the default armor core that they go to, and they work with pretty much every helmet in that armor core.
Oh, nice. And they're just an attachment for every helmet?
Yep, they're just a little attachment. It's amazing.
See, I think that's perfectly fine.
I mean, I wouldn't buy anything that I wouldn't be using 100% of the time. That's the only thing because it's funny. I think the cat ears are actually really funny and hilarious and silly, and that's why I bought them. And, I probably won't buy anything else unless there's something to that level of just silly goofiness that really captures me, but I don't right now see that happening.
When they announce a Guilty Spark helmet that looks like his bald head.
No, an AI voice. I would buy that. Yeah, I would buy that.
I'm trying to think if I have bought anything out of the store. I have spent money on Infinite, but I spent my money on coins to jump a few levels because I was really close to Virgil and I couldn't be bothered playing anymore at the time. So I jumped the last 7 levels or something to get there. But in other games I have spent money on stuff. I think they need more options. The prices were too high in the store. I know they've worked those down a bit, but they were, for what you were getting, they were too high. Not to mention Destiny again, but it's kind of the last game I spent money in a season pass on. But I think the last stuff I bought in Destiny was, I can't even remember which season it was now, but it was, Oran, you might remember when they announced the really cool leather jackets for your Destiny characters. Yeah.
For the Titans.
I have a Warlock, so I had to have that leather trench coat, and the only way to get that stuff is with silver in the store. It's not part of the season pass. You're like, okay, I need this, so I'm going to spend the money on this. I'm going to buy it. Like, if they had stuff like that, I know the problem is, given the lack of stuff maybe in the season pass, you couldn't offer a suit of armor like that, but I feel like you were looking at the prices and going, it's a bit much to pay for a skin or a helmet or a weapon skin, or they had the alternate front end for the Warthog, and I looked at it and thought this isn't worth, I forget what it was it 1,000 or 1,500 credits, and you're like, that's a bit steep for a different nose for my Warthog, and I'm not really here for that. I don't know what they would need to do, but nothing has overly tempted me at the minute. We were talking before the show, if they were to offer you the poncho from the Halo 4 adverts for your Spartan and it was a $5, not a problem. I'll throw a $5 at you for a poncho. If you tell me we have a poncho here and it's going to be 20 quid, no, I'll do without. The Virgil stuff's the perfect example. If they sold us the Virgil AI for a $5, brilliant. If they sold us the Virgil AI for 20 quid, I wouldn't have bought it. That's kind of my per item limit. But if they sell me a full suit of a kit for buck or something, for talk's sake, and that's 20 quid, I would consider that possibly. They could have absolutely got me to drop 20 quid for the George kit if it wasn't in the battle pass. There's nothing yet to really tempt me, but I think with a bit of work they could get there.
Yeah, it's so subjective that it's really hard to put a thing on it. I think I'm just the kind of person that I like swapping out things and trying new customization options until I eventually hit on something. I mean, like with like Halo 4 and eventually 5 and Reach, like because there's such a finite amount of things, like after a year or two of playing the game, like you kind of settle on a piece of armor. But especially with this game being such a living and breathing evolution as Halo Infinite continues, like I don't want to get too attached to things. So I just want to earn different things and get rewarded and then try stuff and kind of just get rewarded from the time that I put in, because I know I'm going to put in a lot. So we'll see how it goes. 343 said they're going to be still monitoring the shop and making more changes and all that, but they've made one change so far. Of course, we're recording this on February 6th, so if they change something on like the 7th or 8th, then like, sorry, we don't know about it. The season goes until May 2nd, so we got plenty of time. That's kind of our season pass, customization, progression talk. The only other thing to note is that what didn't ship with Halo Infinite and the Season 1 that has been in prior games, or at least the more recent games, is that commendations didn't return, which I think is a complete oversight. How can you not have commendations? Like, they're so fun. You get 100 kills or 1,000 kills, and you get a cool nameplate or an arm coating or like literally anything to show, you get a splatter medal if you get 1,000 splatters. Why isn't that a thing? That was one of the greatest things they added in Reach. They continued in 4, and they continued a little bit in 5.
I think the best way for them to do that would be to incorporate commendations with. They're talking about being able to earn credits in the future. Credits and currency in-game should be tied to your commendation rewards. That seems like a no-brainer. Earn small amounts of credits for every commendation.
Something like that, but eventually you'd run out of commendations, though. I'm kind of on the boat of tying them into the Battle Pass to where I know some games you can, if you complete the whole Battle Pass, then you can then buy the next one with the amount of money that you make in the current one. Like, I don't think they need to do that. Like, say you get 500 coins by doing a Battle Pass, and then now you just have to spend $5 to get the next pass. Like, I'm not overly opposed to that. I just want to show off cool stuff for the cool things that I've done in the game. Like the Achilles helmet, I've never gotten it, but like the concept, the Reach, or not the Reach, the Recon helmet in Halo 3. You were someone cool, dude, back in Halo 3 days if you had the Recon.
Yeah, I think it would be worth tying medals to currency. Even if you only got 1 credit per medal, that would motivate a lot of people to play better.
It'd be very interesting.
Maybe make a small cash reward for the MVP of the match, things like that.
Small cash reward.
Yeah, like here's 10 credits if you're the MVP. Like, that might encourage people to play.
Hey, I tell you what, if you get 1 credit for every time you win a match, people would be more incentivizing of playing. But still, that's 500 wins just for 500 credits. Like, there's an achievement in Master Chief Collection for that. I don't even have that one.
Yeah, think about, but you could do things to make it maybe cooperative and better. Make the Wheelman medal worth 2 credits, and then you'll encourage more people to drive you around, things like that. There's got to be ways that you can, like, easily implement all that stuff to encourage more people. Playing the objective, 5 credits if you play the objective. There you go.
Holding the ball, 10 credits.
Think how much better things would be. Bribery.
Everyone likes bribery.
Alright, so to kind of wrap up the season, we'll go over the events that we have so far and kind of talk about what came in these events. First, we have our Fractures Tenrai event. Fractures are divergent Halo universes or timelines, but for the most part, they all orbit the same themes. Each particular fracture can share a variety of elements in common with core canon, but recast in a different light or interpreted in a new way. The first fractures for Halo Infinite is called Tenrai, where blessed suits of Yori were forged by ancient Karakuri arts from the raw energies of the land, each handcrafted for eager young samurai of unimpeachable honor to defend their clan and lands from the barbaric Covenant invaders. Embroiled in bitter clan wars for generations, the warriors of the Tenrai faction now stand united against the invading Covenant barbarians, forced into an alliance against the relentless Covenant and their colossal glass dragons. The 343 clans of the Imperial Court have shared one secret knowledge to create new armor and weapons forged by mortal hands, but blessed with divine force. It is through these new tools of war, unimpeachable honor, and peerless skill that the clans will fight and win against the invaders and reclaim the 7 provinces lost to their depredations. Wow. Wouldn't it be crazy if we played a mode where we teamed up with the Banished or with the Brutes to fight the Covenant? There's your PvE event, Aaron. It should just be a Fractures event.
I would be open to all sorts. There's a lot of potential. I like the idea of Fractures. The Tenrai one in particular, the armor didn't do anything for me, but there's so much potential to absolutely abuse this loophole to put ridiculous armor in. But my only complaint's going to be, if there always going to be a separate suit of armor like the Uri armor, then it's not as appealing to me. I need these components could be stuck on the Mark 7 or whatever. It would be better to me. I want to pick and mix more. I want to take my weird funky Doom soldier helmet and put it on Reach armor or whatever. I don't want the Doom armor to come in and be its own thing with its own suit. The way the kits are, I'd like to be able to pick and mix that stuff more. So
I feel like the kits are a good way to be like, if you want to look like Carter, then here's Carter. If you want to be George, you want to be Emil, here they are. But yeah, you should be able to unlock their individual armor pieces to then mix and match to make your own armor for your Mark 5, because they're, Carter and all them wear Mark 5 armor. Now for Uri and the inevitable Doom guy armor that we'll get in Halo Infinite at some point, I kind of like that they're separate, because then when I'm looking at my armor cores, then it's like, okay, if I want to pick, which avatar to play as, I don't have to go and reset my entire customization settings to then play as this person, whereas I have my ODST Spartan 5 armor, and then my Mark 5 ODST armor. My Mark 7's kind of lame right now because I don't really like any of the customization options. And then I have Uri, which I really like, minus the armor coating, because you have to basically buy all the cool ones. And so I kind of like having each of those. So the next Fractures event, you'll get another armor core. And then now it's all right, cool, I can develop that one. Just so long as these free tracks allow you to get a decent amount of customization, so then everyone just doesn't look the same. Because that first week of Tenrai, everyone was the same. It was one or two things. You were either the Uri armor gray, or you were the Uri armor with the HCS red, white, and blue armor or weapon coding, because that was free and everyone can just redeem that. I don't know. I don't like that take. I think you need to provide enough earnable customization options so then people can express themselves, and then you have other armor that you can then sell in the store that just enhance that. You got your cat ears, you have your pineapple grenades, but then you also have your Anubis helmet that looks super dope if you really want to spend the money to get that. But at least I have a few bells and whistles that I can play with over here.
I don't know. I think it would be nice to be able to combine that stuff a little more. Take my Mark 7 helmet and stick it on top of some of my Reach armor. Take my Samurai chest plate and mix it up with some other stuff. I think there's more potential for customization with things like that, so I'm a little torn on that. But the actual Fracture idea, the idea of these alternate universes are just going completely out there. It's open to so much potential for abuse. You can easily have Gears of War armor, the inevitable, you need a Mandalorian. Why don't we have a Mandalorian Spartan? That seems like a really good idea.
Just Star Wars armor, like a Star Wars core.
You can do Stormtroopers,
that'd be crazy.
I think that it's too early in Halo Infinite to really realize the potential that the armor cores may have. Because we only have 3 or 4 of them that can be unlocked at this time. I think as Halo Infinite progresses, it might become a little clearer why they decided to split up the customization like they did.
I agree. I lean more towards having everything separate, and it's like, these are my pieces for this armor core, and like keeping it all, segregated in that regard. Now, do I think that like a patch that can be like a pouch that could be on the Mark V hip can also be a patch you put on your Mark 7 hip? Sure. Like, I think like those types of things you can translate into both. But yeah, I feel like down the line, like you say, Krista, like as we see more of these armors, I think it might make a little bit more sense. I just hope that the value and like potential of unlocking things is still player focused and not too much into the store like it eventually launched with. Because that was another thing I was going to bring up. Like when the event first came, half of the customization options that were in like the promotional materials were actually paywalled behind the store, and they eventually fixed that to where they made the battle pass more rewarding, to where now I would say that it is pretty rewarding. Now you have to play 3 weeks to get everything, but now you have 2 or 3 different shoulder pads to customize with, 2 or 3 knee pads, 1 or 2 helmets with different attachments. Like, that's all I'm asking, some variety.
The only other complaint I have, I don't know what you guys think of it, but I would have preferred if the Tenrai challenges were not mixed in with the regular challenges, because if I only have 3 or 4 days to do the special event, I maybe don't necessarily have time to go and unlock every other challenge at the same time. And it can be a little irritating if you have a special event on, but you've got to now clear out your 4 regular challenges to make room for another couple of event challenges. Would have been nice if those were 2 different feeds.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a bit annoying.
Because you're having to play a Fiesta for the Fracture event, but then you're going, oh great, now I need to go and capture the flag 4 times in PvP or whatever it is to then clear out this one so I can get to the next one.
Those ones are the worst because there's not a capture the flag mode. So I got to the point where I was entering games, and if it wasn't like the mode that I needed to complete a challenge, I was just dropping out.
Yep, and that's what a lot of people do, and it causes a lot of
It's bad
issues with matchmaking. Yeah, it's like when you have multiplayer specific achievements, and then you have people running around chucking grenades everywhere because they need the plasma kills or whatever it is to get the multiplayer achievement. So that's probably my only real complaint with the setup of how this event works.
Yeah, I would agree, because my method is I kind of just save my weapon swaps or my challenge swaps for events. So then if I get a challenge like that where it's like earn 5,000 points in Tactical Slayer, then I'll be like, nope, I'll just swap it. And I would swap it until it would be something that I can earn in Fiesta, even if it's not an event challenge. If it's just like get 3 beatdowns or something, like, okay, I can still work towards that while I'm also working towards my event challenges within Fiesta. And so then that way I'm not bouncing. And then conversely, if I do so many event challenges to where now I have a lot of non-event challenges, then I'll be like, okay, well, if I go in and play like 2 or 3 Team Slayer matches, can I get all of these? Because I can preview my challenges, and then I see I'll get like 3 different Fiesta challenges. So then that way I'm not like going into a playlist to get just 1 challenge. I'm like going into a playlist to try to get 2 or 3 challenges, so then I can bounce back into another one. And that's kind of how I game the system, if you will. But all of that would be avoided if your regular challenges were just for everything other than the event playlist, and then your event challenges were just the event playlist. Then it's just like, okay, you just pick and choose which way you want to go. That way, if I'm playing ranked arena with some friends, it's not like, oh, well, I have all of these Fiesta challenges I'd like to do first, so then I get non-Fiesta challenges, so then when we play, we can work towards that. So it's like an extra like gaming the system that you have to play to just maximize your playtime, unless you truly don't care to where you just play anything, which, sometimes I'm like that, but other times, if the challenge is there, I'm going to go for the challenge. But generally speaking, I think the events are cool. I think they're happening pretty frequently. I like how they mix up the, what's going on. They're definitely keeping the game fresh, and I'm excited to see how it continues. I would say that the events have a better footing than like the Battle Pass did as a whole, in my opinion. The third week of Tenrai just happened. It's actually on the tail end as we're recording, but by the time of release, it'll be over, which was from February 1st to February 8th. The next Tenrai event that is upcoming will be from February 22nd to March 2nd, and then you have 2 more weeks, March 19th to April 5th, and then the last week, April 19th to April 26th. Except the first week, you were only able to earn 7 event challenges per time. They've upped it to 10, so now you just need to complete, if you complete all the challenges, all 10 challenges for any given week, you can finish the pass in 3 full weeks, or you can space it out between those weeks. So if you haven't done any yet and you're listening to this now, then you actually still have time for the next 3 times it comes back. You just have to grind away and get all of the event challenges for each week. We have 2 other events that have happened since release. We've had the Winter Contingency, which came out between December 21st and December 30th. The kind of little tidbits they had here was multiple slip space ruptures have been detected as Spartans across the galaxy are coming together to celebrate the holidays. If you listen closely, you can hear them singing, dashing through the blizzard, dodging the grenades, to the flag we go, grappling all the way. One-shot Spartan ping, keep that teamwork tight. Oh, fun it is to fight and sing a slaying song tonight.
What the fuck?
Did you miss this, Krysta?
Yes, I did. What the hell?
343 wrote that.
Oh my god.
Winter Contingency Celebration begins December 21st and offers 10 unique holiday theme rewards that will roll out 1 per day until December 30th. I thought this was a great holiday event. You just log on, play a match, get a reward. I wasn't too fond of the color scheme, but it was very Christmassy and candy cane-like. Me personally, I don't think I really kept any of the rewards, but I got them, and I thought it was a fun little way to celebrate the holidays, and especially right after release, and they're able to kind of throw something together that, gives something. I think this was just a decent average event, personally. Did you guys have anything to say about Winter Contingency? Did you guys even play it? I guess Krysta didn't.
Nah, not really. I'm not into Christmas-themed cosmetics. I think they're boring, and you can only use them at like one time of the year.
I think I did a little bit of it, but nothing too major. Like, it doesn't stand out in my memory at all, so that probably says enough.
Well, one event that just finished was called Cyber Showdown. It's a showdown event. The Cyber Showdown event invites you to jump into the new attrition mode to earn free limited time customization rewards with cybernetic themes. So you had some like digital mohawks and kind of vaporwave type of themes there with armor coatings and even weapon kill stuff.
Shout out to the off-center holographic visor that they put out.
Yes, that was pretty funny. Which they're not fixing until, wait for it, Season 2.
Oh, no. So we got nothing for the next couple months.
Yeah, little disappointing.
This event was cool because it brought in a new game mode called Attrition, which is a frantic new Slayer mode where lives are shared across your team. Each team has a limited number of lives. Revive your teammates when they fall and work together to deplete the enemy's life pool to finish them off. Last team standing wins. I enjoyed this mode. It was really, really sweaty, and it has a bit of a learning curve, and you need to tell yourself to not just run into the beginning of the match, and you kind of just have to move with your team and team kill. But I like this. I thought it was a great Halo-y new take on Slayer. And like same thing, the wards I thought were mostly okay. I was playing this for the attrition mode. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Attrition seemed like it had fun potential, but I only had the time to jump into one match, got horribly, horribly slaughtered, and went, okay, that was probably something that would have been fun if I played with people I knew.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I liked the Cyber Showdown cosmetics. I didn't really get many because I wasn't playing a bunch, but I did like the cosmetics. I like where they're going with these rewards. They're very, very cool.
I like how that's not solely just the military super soldier that we've been playing. I kind of like this mix that you kind of get the goofy stuff in there too, because it's not overly invasive, and I don't know, it's fun.
They need to remind themselves a little more and look some more at some of the stuff they've fired in the Master Chief Collection and take some more inspiration from that. There's a lot of weird random shit in there, and get a little crazier with it does no harm. Like, it'll always be the people that moan about, oh, it's not in keeping with Halo, but you can just go, it's a fracture event, go away. when Mr. Chief comes to save us all and we get Mr. Chief suits of armor and whatever else there is, whatever crazy shit they can come up with.
So that's all that's happened so far. We don't really know what's coming next, but there are two things that we know that's happening relatively soon. But as far as like a roadmap for the season, we don't really have that yet. Joseph Staten did actually say around launch that they were going to have a season 1 roadmap and a little bit of a season 2 roadmap come out in January, and we were hoping that it would make it for this show, but basically he said it's delayed. We're trying to get it to as soon as you can, so we decided to record and not just wait for them. But what we do know is that the next event, which should be landing on February 8th, so it should be active while while this premieres, is called Tactical Ops. Don't really know anything else about it, but that's from February 8th to February 22nd. We already mentioned the Fractures Tenrai events, weeks 4, 5, and 6 that are returning later in the season. And then the mid-season balance update is planned to happen sometime this month, probably towards the middle end part of February, where we'll get some weapon tuning and the rank CSRs will be reset. So your ranked arena placing will be reset. You'll have to do your placement matches again to re-earn your rank on what 343 is saying is a more level playing field when they do some of that weapon tweaking. So we will have a response about that maybe towards our season review episode. And I'm sure the HCS Pro Talk guys, which we didn't mention at the top of the show, so sorry guys, but that's Will and Josh over at HCS Pro Talk, our partners that talk about all the latest competitive Halo news. They will surely have some insight and opinions on the weapon tuning and how that affects their Halo HCS and all that. Then the only thing we know about Season 2 is that it launches May 3rd, 2022. And we're supposed to be getting co-op campaign in Forge. Don't know if that's still a thing. Don't know if that comes after the launch date. It could come at the end of Season 2. We don't really know yet.
I think it got pushed back, didn't it?
I was going to say, I thought Forge was coming with Season 3 and it was just co-op campaign with Season 2. I thought Forge was like the season behind.
I think you're right. I think that's my bad. Forge coming Season 3, co-op campaign coming Season 2, but we don't know if that means day and date with Season 2. It could be like, oh yeah, Season 2 is from May to July or May to August, and it'll come sometime during that. But that's kind of where we're at with Season 1 right now. Bit of a rocky start. It's getting there. We're getting a feel, we're getting a groove of what Halo Infinite is becoming, what the future of Halo is looking like. I don't really have much more to say. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm actually kind of really most disappointed that this season is so long, just because I like the cadence of a 3 or 4 month season because then it updates the game and because time goes by so quickly. But 6 months is a long time. That's half a year, guys.
I don't think it's a terrible start to it. I feel like they've found their feet on some things. There are other things they need to change and modify, but it hasn't been a complete shit show, so I'm not super disappointed with them. I would give them a solid 7 out of 10. It's not awful. It could be better. They could tweak a few things and tempt me to spend some money on some items. I know there'll be people out there that'll be all, no, don't do that, but with them talking about adding in the ability to earn credits in-game, you could get to the stage where hopefully you could be self-sufficient, so I'm all for that. I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been terribly disappointed, so I'll give them a thumbs up for this one. So far.
Yeah, I'll just give them one thumbs up that, like, for the most part, it's good. For the most part, we've had not terrible matchmaking issues, with the exception of, like, BTB and, like, the frickin' melee punches. Like, I find that being so shoddy. But, like, I'm able to get into games and, like, play the games, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I'd say, like, a 5 or a 6 out of 10 with a good thumbs up. Like, you know, good job, you launched a game. Let's clean it up. That's it. It's episode 6 of Infinite Impressions, guys. Our next Infinite Impressions will be the characters of Halo Infinite. This is kind of just like, it's a little different than what our character dossiers are. I think it's not going to be quite as detailed, but just kind of like what our opinions are and our impressions of these new characters that have entered the Halo canon, where we think they are going, what aspirations they have, if they have any, if they stay alive. But I also want to make a note that starting with this next episode, we will be producing Infinite Impression episodes with full spoilers of Halo Infinite's main campaign. This will include everything, the side missions, the Easter eggs, audio logs, the legendary ending, so I have 2 weeks to finish it, and then everything in between. And that's just an easy way because it's like, we try to dance around spoilers. It's been 2 months since release as of recording, so this kind of gives you a little bit more time to get that campaign, and if you haven't, then just simply go play it. You know, all these episodes will just be on your feed and you can listen to them later. Not the end of the world. That's all I got, Aaron.
Alright. I think then that'll do us for this week, will it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up for another week. Guys, thank you for joining us. You can find every episode of all of our shows over at the website, halopodcast.com. You can search for all the unique feeds over there all in one place, or just follow Halo Podcast Evolved, and we tend to throw everything we do in there. Another special shout out to all of our patrons for helping support us and make the show possible. Go to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolved to learn more. And finally, if you would like to leave us a voicemail about this episode or anything else Halo related, you can do that by giving us a call on 205 Evolved. That's 205-386-5833. We play those on the live show if we get them, so usually the end of every month, so don't ask us anything too time sensitive if you want it featured on the show. But we do listen to them all, so if you just want to leave us a voicemail and say hi, feel free. And with that, I have been your host Aaron, and until next time, Evolved.
Evolved.